You know what time it is?
It is that amazing time.
Yeah. There's William.
William's coming up my hill. Oh my God, here comes Arthur. He's riding on the back of the horse. What
Absolutely.
the heck?
Hooves a-blazing, dust going all over the place. Up to 5,600 feet in Montana.
That must be William and Arthur.
It is, absolutely. And Gene, we got some great stuff to talk about today. Absolutely great stuff.
Have we got a show for you?
Absolutely. Yes. Hey, I've got some stuff that I'm going to be talking to you about that you don't even know about.
Well, I'm telling you, I got to tell everyone about little Miss Carly.
Carly, yes, please, let's hear it.
Fiorina.
Carly Fiorina, the GOP candidate for President of the United States.
And we're going to talk about vibrations and auras and how to read stuff like that and how to hear behind what the words are and how not to be so gullible.
All right, so what do we got?
Well, you know, they say by thy words, what is that saying? By thy words you shall be
judged?
Something. Judged,
I think.
You know, but the words have nothing to do with what you're being judged on. It's the motive of the heart. You know, you can say all kinds of stuff, but if the motive of your heart is fine, you know, like you didn't mean it in a negative way. It just came out awkward. Like Trump, he's a diamond in the rough and he always says these awkward things, but he doesn't mean it. And I know he doesn't mean it because he can high five Jeb Bush and smile at him and I see warmth coming out of him. I mean, that amazed me.
Not Jeb Bush. I don't see any warmth coming out of him. I think it's contrived.
No. Well, I don't know. I think Jeb might, if of all the Bushes, he might have a little teeny bit of softness in him, but he's just too soft for presidency. I mean, what were they thinking to put him on the ticket? But, that's
because he's part of the Bush family, and that's because of that legacy. Come on, you got to know that. We've talked about that quite a bit. There is a tie to those forces around the government that just don't want to see light succeed.
But you talk about vibration and face. You know, Trump made that comment about Carly and her face, meaning her persona. And I believe that's what he truly meant. It's like she didn't have the right vibe.
Yeah, demeanor.
And vibration.
Yeah,
vibration is like everything. To me, it's like I'll close my eyes when I'm with someone and I'm just meeting them and I'll feel it. If I can't look at them, and that is the way I felt when Obama ran for office. It was like for some reason I couldn't look at him and feel comfortable. I had that same thing happen to me when I was watching Carly. I couldn't look at her. There was something she was emanating in her vibration that was cutting me off. I'm incredibly intuitive, but I was looking for the heart. I was trying to find my way up to her heart. I realized later as I looked at her chart, you know, to try to discover what that is so I could have some objective understanding of what I was dealing with. And I saw all this amazing Virgo stuff in her, this attention to detail. So I first of all realized, okay, she's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the mind. It has nothing to do with heart. So the mind memorized to perfection, to literally perfection, which is a major keyword for Virgo. Letter of the law instead of spirit of the law, what she was going to say. So she knew at that debate ahead of time, you know, talk about prep work, beyond prep work ability. And if you look into her...
Well, I know some of those teleprompters have been preset, and especially at the end when she was doing the thing about Planned Parenthood, I know a lot of that was already preset on teleprompters.
She memorized it, and she knew she was going to say it, and she couldn't wait to get it out. But the thing is her sun's at 13 degrees Virgo. There's a thing called decan. You take the degree, and each degree is ruled by a particular vibration of a sign. And that 13 degree Virgo is actually has a cloak of Capricorn over it. Now, the Capricorn is the need for power, and power at any cost. There's no heart in the power. There is just that I want the power, and I'm going to be perfect in the way that I become a machine. I become a machine so that I can articulate it, you know, and communicate it. And the thing is, she never smiled once. Not even once.
No.
Not even once.
Gene, I have seen people like that. I've done a lot of work in consulting with a lot of different corporations over the years. And that feeling that I got with that non-smile, that whole feeling of that energy, of that vibration, it was just like, I can't see a team of people come together in joy and discussion of the victory and the future, and hey, let's get this thing done for the company, and let's feel a part of this. I would think if they took that to her and asked her for her opinion of it, it'd be shut down immediately. No, we're not going to do this. That's the kind of feeling I got from her.
Well, she's incredibly smart, and she will be articulate, and the problem is that it comes out mechanically. And so because there is no warmth, I feel like I'm listening to a robot.
Oh, wait. I got to tell you this. For those out there that have been in the corporate world, right? And they've gone to a meeting, and you go to these meetings, right, which are supposed to be the annual meetings. So all the salespeople are there, and all the CEOs and the people that are like really running the organization, and they're in there. And then they come out with these things, and they're saying, okay, we've got our business plan all set for the next year, the next 12 months. And instead of coming across like real excited about it, and they'll say, we've really made some changes in our management. We think we're going to go ahead and do this. This is the way it comes across. Well, we've put together our plan for next year, and we're real excited that everything is going to be okay, that we're really going to do well. Our numbers should look a lot better, and we're really excited about the whole process. People have grown.
It's like, where's the excitement?
Yeah, I don't hear the excitement there. I think people grow so accustomed to that it just doesn't work, and that's the feeling that I get from her when I looked at her face. I didn't feel.
Well, the thing is, it's a continence. It's her aura. She emanates through her aura something that's mechanical. Now you can program a computer and make it do exactly what you want it to do to the letter of the law. So that's what I feel like I'm looking at, is a program computer. And she's letter of the law. She's saying exactly what she thinks everybody wants to hear, and furthermore, she's doing it with such articulation. It's almost, well, are you reading that? I mean, you're saying that so fast and so furiously with anger. It's almost like a hatred or something. Yeah. Now, I'm sounding very strong, but I'm also looking at her chart,
Well, I can't help but think that if, as you mentioned before, that Donald's looking at her during this debate, and all of a sudden they start coming up with that comment that he made about, her face. I believe that's what he's reading. He's reading that coming back, and the first thought out of his mouth was, her face doesn't look right. It doesn't emanate correctly. It's not, you don't see the light in the eyes. You don't see the love coming through. You don't see the spark. You know what I mean?
Well, you think about it. Trump has seen all sides of the coin in the realm of his walkthrough. He's played both sides of the coin there. So he knows both sides of the coin when he sees it.
Yeah.
So he's been the one who's given money to all these campaigns and to all these people, and then he's gotten what he wanted out of them. But he's also, because he knows that's why he's saying, I'm not willing to be a president who's going to take money from people, because I'm not going to have them do to me what I did to a lot of people.
Okay, so
because
why?
You know what?
What?
Because he wants so bad to make America great again. And if you really look at it, if you've been there, you've been in the mud, you know what it feels like to be dirty, and you decide to clean yourself up, you become cleaner than everybody else.
So,
and when I look...
Gene for Trump, right? That's what I'm hearing here. Gene for Trump.
Hey, Trump's got my vote.
Right.
He's got my vote now, because I have followed the vibe. I have analyzed. I've looked at his recordings. In fact, if you go to my personal Facebook at Gene Hart, Hart, I posted a YouTube that he did with Oprah Winfrey back 27 years ago. It's amazing. He's saying back then the exact same things he's saying now. So anybody coming in and saying that he flip-flops, oh my God, go look at this video. You're going to be amazed at what you see.
I saw that, the picture of him when he was really young, right? And he's...
No, but there's a video behind that picture on my website.
So that's when
he's
he really
on
had hair?
Oprah. He's... Yeah. Come on. Okay. See, people make fun of him too all the time. His hair, all kinds of stuff, the way he talks. And he laughs it off. He takes it. And in fact, he makes fun of himself. Look at the Jimmy Fallon show. He was able to, I mean, that was a work of art.
All right, okay,
But
wait.
Carly is a Virgo. She can't do that. She's established and made an opinion, and it's gone into her little programming. And so when someone actually tries to make friends with her, she's not able to come back and make the friend thing happen.
Well, she was the chief over at the CEO over at Hewlett Packard. A computer.
She was fired. She was fired because she's in the meeting and she can't make friends in the meeting. Yeah, maybe they came back around now. She's running for president. Ooh, let's get in good with her. So now one of the board guys that fired her has written a nice article about her. But go back into some of the other places where she was CEO. Go back to her first marriage, and you will see all these anger issues, all this perfectionist, this need for power, this profound, inordinate need for power. And because she has the decan of Capricorn behind her sun, a sun is in its fall in Capricorn for whatever reason. The reason why is the sun likes to shine and be warm, and Capricorn's the coldest planet in the solar system. Capricorn meaning Saturn rules Capricorn.
Okay.
Saturn's the coldest planet in the solar system. So, she wants power. She's going to CCJ, criticize, condemn, and judge others. And I know that what you say about someone else, you got to look in the mirror and think, oh my God, I see that in her. Is that somewhere in me? Because everyone's a mirror.
So is that judgment be a judgment at the expense of anybody else? In other words, this judgment basically would be just because of the need for personal power as opposed to I really care about the group I'm serving. Mm-hmm. So in other words, there's really no servant leadership type of qualities. You know what I mean?
Well,
where you're leading to help serve the people that you're leading. Do you see that?
I think that she has a motive for the reason she's serving, and she's insecure about her own identity, so it comes out to overcompensate for that. She overcompensates through power and the misuse of power.
Okay.
I think she's very robotic because that's what happens on the dark side of Virgo. You become a perfectionist to the point of anal, and you become a computer, and you program yourself to, kind of like perform a certain way in every given situation. And she's starved for power. She wants that power, and she's angry. She's angry.
Luke, I am your father.
Exactly. You got it. I'm sorry to say. And I know this is going to make a lot of people mad when they listen to the show because Carly has an articulation, an ability to say the words really fast, smooth, and rapid fire.
Well, that's been okay. This is one thing that we make jest of this, but there is a mechanization concept. We know that you can see it in the ancient teachings, in any of the scriptures. The Upanishads. You go all the way back to the Buddhist texts. You go back everywhere, and you will find references continually to mechanization concept. Where something came in from a different place, and in fact, that's going to kind of fall into what I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And this is the kind of thing that we come across that people do not recognize. They don't see it. There's like a veil that's there where they say, wow, this guy's a polished speaker, but there's no motivation of the heart behind it. It's
no,
not...
yeah, the vibration. That's what I'm talking about. What did you feel when she was saying all that? It was like, man, those are good words. Look, she is like rapid fire. It's coming out. Oh my God, I like the way she said that. It's perfect. It is so perfect and so rapid fire that nobody stopped to feel the vibration behind the words.
Yeah, you know what? It's almost like what Stalin said at one point. He said, the death of one person is tragic. The death of a million people is a statistic.
Yeah, right.
It's that kind of vibration where there's no discernment, or you don't really care about what's going on other than I will do it. So, that's the feeling I got when I watched her, unfortunately. I hate to say that, and very polished individual or person, but if I was working in that company and I had to work directly with that.
To have her as a boss, to have her as a friend.
No, thank you.
To have her as a,
Glory to God.
if she turns on you, you're dead.
Yeah. That's right.
You're dead.
All right.
And so there is something called serpentine logic.
Yes.
There is something called mechanization man, and the great divine director, who is a great divine being, wrote many pearls on the mechanization concept or the mechanization man there is a way of getting a hold of that book.
And the Great
I
Divine
would-
Director is one of those ascended masters that we talked about, one of those people that graduated from her schoolroom that actually made their ascension, became one with God, right?
And then what happens is once you become one with God and you make this ascension work, your whole desire is to go back and whisper in the ear of others to inspire them, to make them want to come up higher because you're in this amazing place and you
That's
want
right.
everyone else to experience it.
Gee,
So the Great
eat-
Divine Director,
Don't eat
yeah,
that
don't
donut.
eat donuts. I don't eat donuts.
I know you don't.
Honestly. But really.
Hey, I'm not
I
eating
would
donuts now. I've dropped 12
Dropped 12
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
We're off and running.
Yeah, So, when we say these rapid fire things, what do you feel behind the voice? Do you feel love? Do you feel the love? Because I love you. I really do. And I want you to know that. That's why I'm doing the Trek Upward
Gee,
radio show.
Look, right by the window, behind your back, I see a unicorn right there. Peeking in the window.
Unicorns. Now, in Atlantis, they
Yeah.
had the chance to get on the big boat, Noah's boat, you know?
Yeah.
They rebelled. They didn't
Well,
want to get up there with all the crowded animals and have to, kind of be in tight quarters. So they refused to get on the boat. That's why you don't see them now. They rebelled.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. You can, if you study the late great continent of the lost continents of Atlantis and, all those Lemurian places and Noah's Ark and the real story behind that, what
Yeah.
that was really about. Atlantis did sink by water. It sank by rain. It was the 40 days, 40 nights, so to speak, story in the Bible. And all the animals were supposed to board the ark, and also certain people, too. The certain people only that were making the right choices and using their...
Yeah, so I could see him, right? Over there. There's a couple of unicorns standing there by the side going, you going to get on?
You think I
I'm not
jest.
gonna
I'm
get
very...
on. Are you going to get
I
on?
know.
I'm not going to get on. What about Mikey? He's not going to get on. Those pigs
But
stink. I don't want to get anywhere near them.
Exactly, But it's a consciousness, too.
Right.
The unicorns thought they were the most beautiful horses ever.
Yeah.
Heck, they had horns growing out of the center of their third eye,
So they
That
just
third eye is the eye magic that takes you to the mind of God,
visualization, right? Being able to see,
Yeah.
and without vision, the people perish. Hey,
And being able to look at people who are dirty and be able to see the heart behind it.
Well-
That's what we need to really kind of look at with Carly. Are we looking deep enough to see where the heart is? I guess only time will tell as she continues to present herself to the world. But I tell you, anybody listening out there, it's nothing personal. I totally look for the Christ in everyone. And when I say Christ, or that I look for the light, the goodness, that which shines. And I will keep looking for that. But at this point, I've got the opinion, when I look at her chart and when I see her present herself into the minds and hearts of the public, I see precision, I see rapid fire, I see mechanization man, and I don't feel the heart. And I gotta feel the heart. Like Obama. I didn't feel the heart from Obama. I felt a con. I felt like I was being conned. There's a difference between Obama and her, though. She's mechanized in her articulation, and again, she's rapid fire. He was more smooth in his, let me just get you.
Oh, very smooth. Yes, very smooth. That was
So
one.
there's a different in the vibration, but
Well, either one of those turned me off, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
I have
It's-
yet to see somebody that has been running for office that is of a polished nature that really kind of grabbed my heart. The one thing I got to tell you that I do like about, like Carson, for example, I know he's got a heart, right? But he needs a little more push or an oomph or something like that behind him to help him get going where he needs to go.
let me tell you, he may think he's got a heart. He's got a Pluto square Mars in his chart, and he's the only one of the candidates that does. So he's got a great ability to manipulate. And when they asked him the question about the,
CDC?
vaccines,
Yeah.
the vaccines, his response to that was a very manipulative answer. He had his opinion on what he really thought about it, and what he said was not the truth. And as God is my witness, I checked his chart. I know that. And the thing is that, Trump, he's like this diamond in the rough. He wanted to expose the vaccine thing. He wanted to say it, but he knew that if he said it too strong, people would think he was being fanatical. So he had to sort of, well, maybe we could cut down the, amounts and just do it a little bit at a time. He's just trying to gently lead the sheep who are sound asleep into the Ben Carson's a medical doctor. Medical doctors are just programmed in their, I know many, many medical doctors, and I'm actually married to a doctor, but they are programmed. They are literally programmed to a mechanization response.
Oh, this is a good lead in for some of the stuff we're going to talk about that I have for
All
you.
right, well, go for it. Tell me.
Well, the one thing that I want to tell you about the mechanization concept and to support Gene on this, we had a discussion in the last week, actually, from somebody who was on Facebook that talked about the fact that they took exception to some of the comments that were made by Donald Trump as well about these vaccines. But what these individuals do not understand, that they say, well, this is CDC, and then Ben Carson says there are no results in the medical community that say this. Well, what you need to understand is that those results are done by laboratories that are funded by the same
the medical society,
the same pharmaceutical laboratories, and the same laboratories that do the pharmaceutical studies to be able to get these very expensive drugs put out into the market. It's about money, folks. You have to understand it's about billions and billions and billions of dollars. The CDC is actually controlled by that same group of pharmacological folks. And so any studies that they do are going to be tainted. I mean, so Ben Carson, the other ones that are in the medical community are just reading the same recitation that's been put out there. It's the propaganda that they've been given as what's going on. Facts, however, as
we're
what Donald
all
was,
walking, talking computers, and we get programmed by our environment so easily.
Do you see anything in her chart, Carly's chart, that would be related to the United States? Do you see any potential outcome for this? And I do want to add, Gene, you didn't say this. Although you saw these things with the chart, I just want to repeat what you have said to me many times, and you've said to the listeners many times, is that what you see is a mathematical equation. You're not. This is not psychic. It has nothing to do with that. You're looking at the mathematics of those planetary configurations. Is that correct?
Yeah, the electronic.
Yep.
You're looking at energy.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't know you're looking at energy, but you're looking at energy and a vibration.
So this isn't a psychic read. What Gene's saying is let her teach you. She'll show you how to find this stuff on your own. Where can they get all this understanding that you have, Gene? Tell them where. That's a problem.
Oh, please go to astrologygenehart.com and let me do your chart. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's do it.
There you go. That was a lead in if I ever heard one, right?
I just, I don't want to be mechanized. I want to be someone who is energized. Mechanized is just watching Carly, watching these debates. Now, here's another thing. The media and the nonsense questions. There were no substance in the question. Everything was, Trump said this. Would you like him to push the nuclear bomb? It was just like, give me a break. Could you give us some intelligent answers? Now, I'm telling you, Smith Goes to Washington, media is so in control and being controlled by someone with an agenda, and their agenda is to get Jeb Bush back into the leadership picture and to run Trump out of town, and none of those other candidates have a chance.
I listened to Steve Quayle, go look it up on the internet. Steve has been an insider. Washington Insider's done this study for many, 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 many years. And he was able to actually identify the agenda of the dark forces that have taken control over this. And I'm telling you that is there, that they wanted to push the agenda. And this was known back in 2012.
Scary.
That the people that they were going to push were Bush, Clinton, and possibly Rubio. Marco.
Wake up and smell the roses. Oh my God, I almost fell for Rubio too. Oh my gosh, I almost fell for him.
Yeah, he was supposed to be
I love Trump. I love Trump because he's got a heart and he stutters. He says stupid things, so he's human. And then he can laugh about it later. He gets over it fast. Come on, people, get over it fast. Wake up, smell the coffee, because there's something going on here, and it's called conspiracy, and it's not the militia, creepy, scary stuff that you don't want to hear about, but there is something going on behind the scenes.
How many million people do we have in this country? I said this before, And why do we have to continually have to vote for a Bush? People, you have to see this. You got to wake up
Come
and see
on.
it.
You know, there's a lot of geniuses out there in this United States of America. Where are you?
Yeah.
Stand up.
Yeah. The problem is the media is controlled. You can't get any word in edgewise. It kind of happened to individuals like Ron Paul. The media did a number on him.
Well, he was kind of sleepy. Like Trump would say, I was put to sleep by his words. He didn't put me out.
It didn't matter. But what I'm saying is whether or not it worked or didn't work. But the point was you should have seen what
sleepy.
What you should have seen going on behind the scenes. People could not see it, and I was fortunate enough to be part of that process, and I could see what was going on. But anyway, it's not fun stuff. Dark Legacy, Netflix. Dark Legacy.
But Netflix. And I hear things like, okay, we got thousands of refugees running wild. We've got all of a sudden last week Obama, and you didn't hear this on the media, like front center, and it should have been he just elected and put the next military leader in place to run our military.
Yeah.
The guy's gay. I mean, there's nothing against gays. I just understand the teaching behind gay. It's the soul not rebelling a little bit, not taking command of the body that it's been given in a particular life, because some lives you're female and some lives you're male, and you have to use the body that you're given properly. So long story short, if we did another show on this earlier.
Yes.
And got into the detail of that. It's nothing against, I don't have anything against people being gay. That's their karma. They will have to pay the piper by making those choices. It's a bad choice. But it also weakens the base of the spine. The base of the spine is where everybody's strength is. That's where the sacred fire is. And if you're spilling your sacred fire through a lot of inordinate sexual activity, you're not able to be the fullness and effectiveness of what you are about. And Andrew Carnegie said that. He practiced moments, weeks, months of celibacy because he knew that when he was celibate, he was smarter and he was able to get more done and he was more successful. So there's something to the raising of the Kundalini fire, the base of the spine energy, to the halo. The halo represents wisdom, attainment, ability to think clearly and make good decisions. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That energy coming up there actually does emanate, and those that have visions to see this know that it's an emanation of the sacred fire. So that glow.
Well, the scary thing is you put someone who misuses the sacred fire because they're struggling with identity. They don't realize that they've got a male body and they're trying to use it in a female way. And you put them in charge of the military. What are you thinking? I don't mean to criticize anybody for their thoughts there. I judge the deed, not the soul. Please. Yeah. There is a difference,
Well, yeah, for sure. So I think the point that we're trying to get across here is that, folks, there is reincarnation. We've talked about this, many, many times.
You will be back.
You will be back, right? So the deal is if you think about it, just stop for a second, and even if you don't agree with this, think about this process. Let's say, for example,
your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes. Look at another opportunity. So you get somebody, let's say, for example, a Bruce Jenner, that may have gone through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of being a female. Now, all of a sudden, they need to learn the lessons that the male body and what the soul needs to learn, because you have the omega, which is the feminine side, and you have the alpha, which is the positive or male side. There has to be a balance, so the soul is learning the balance of those two energies. So you take on lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime as a female, you really get a momentum on being a woman. You understand what it takes to be a mother. You understand what it takes to reach the heart out. Now you have to take the opposite side. You have to learn what it's like to be on the positive side to gain balance. So God is trying to teach us in our souls balance, wholeness, balance, and growth. Now the soul, prior to taking embodiment, makes a decision and looks at this and says, well, you have the opportunity now, along with the Ascended Masters, to decide if you want to try to balance these energies out by taking on the male role. So now all of a sudden you get a Bruce Jenner who comes in here who obviously has a momentum on being a female. It's obvious. I mean, you can look at the guy, and that's what it's all about, and that's what he was struggling with. Now all of a sudden has to deal with a male body. So he takes embodiment as a male athlete, doing male athletic things to learn the balance of the male athletic body. Now, he's done that. He's moved on with his life. He was very accomplished as an athlete. And the next thing you know, he's got himself hooked up in an area where it's nothing but, kind of, forgive me for saying this, but the Kardashians, a little perverted female thing there with the materialistic stuff. No wonder he gets confused. So the poor guy's trying to reach back, gain something, and what he falls back on is what he has a momentum from past lives, which was being a female. So you don't want to throw that away. He could have just pushed through maybe a little bit longer. And if people understood this teaching, then I think it would have been a victory, especially psychologists. If they knew that there's reincarnation and that people would go there, I believe that Bruce would be an open-minded guy enough to say, hey, if that's what's really going on, cool. I know what to do about it. Help me deal with it.
Here's something even more intense about that. Because people don't take accountability for their bodies and they get into these sexual misunderstandings. I mean, believe it or not.
That's a good way to put it. Sexual misunderstanding.
You can have a relationship with a man and, your passions are strong and, you release the passion and it feels really great. All right. So then you go have a relationship with a woman and the passions are strong and then you release the energy and it feels great. But if you go to the greatness of both of those feelings, they're exactly the same. So it didn't matter whether it was a man or woman. What mattered was the moral integrity behind it. The moral integrity behind it can make or break nations. So you want to see America go down, by all means, legalize gay marriage. You want to see a civilization sink. That's what sunk Atlantis. Atlantis sunk because they got decadent in the White House. They allowed sexual promiscuity from the get-go. It was like, in everything. It was in the media. It was in this is the way we live. We're wild. We're crazy. We love the sacred fire. We're going to live, da-da-da-da. It's happening all over again.
Right there.
You want to lose United States of America, this is what you do. You misuse the sacred fire. If you want America to be strong, you raise that Kundalini fire, you get strong, and you play by the rules of moral activity. Moral activity.
Hoorah! Well, and I think part of the problem is people don't understand the connection between, the karmic impact of holding a moral ground and not holding a moral ground. They say, oh, well, that's church
Everybody
and state.
knows. No. Everybody knows the difference between right and wrong. And that still small voice is saying, you shouldn't be doing this. You want to go back in the closet. You don't really want everyone to know that you're gay. But then the programming, getting used to the idea, getting fed that hypnotic spell. You come under the hypnotic spell, and then all of a sudden you can't hear that still small voice anymore.
Let's talk about hypnotic spells. I got something for you. I really got something. Okay. I want to talk about OOPARTS.
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 Oh, God, I never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
I told you. This is good stuff. OOPARTS. Okay. Out of place artifacts. Okay? Out of place artifacts. Okay, so grant me this.
Could you spell that, please?
Yes.
Spell that.
OOPARTS. It's an acronym for out of place artifacts. OOPARTS. Okay? Now, what we're talking about, okay, so just put that on hold, what Gene's saying. Just a little bit on hold. We're going to get back to it. OOPARTS are those out of place artifacts that they have found through archaeological digging that have been hidden in museums that the forces do not want you to know about. Okay? So basically what it is physical evidence that have been found during artifact digging. So it's been through archaeological digs that they found these. For example, 1889 in Nampa, Idaho, while these guys were digging an artesian well, they found a figurine baked in clay, that was baked in clay. Now that doesn't sound okay. Fine, guys are digging stuff up artesian well. They found a baked clay figurine. Okay, now they found it 320 feet below the surface of the earth. Okay, below the surface, and there's nothing really bad about that. They also found that they had to go through 15 feet of bauxite lava to get to the bottom of it, right? To find this as they're digging this well. And as you know, artesian wells are pretty deep. To get to it, now here's the amazing part. That bauxite lava was checked out by age, carbon dating, to be 15 million years old. So that means
15 million years old?
15 million with an M years old.
But There's no time and space on the other side, so 15 million years is a blink in the eye.
Exactly, but how did a figurine baked in clay get to the bottom underneath of a 15-foot bauxite lava layer that was 15 million years old? You tell me, unless that figurine was older than 15 million years. Okay,
Right.
All right, here's another one. 1936, this couple was walking through this place, and they found sticking out of a rock, it was like embedded in these areas where these were exposed rocks, they found a hammer, okay? And this hammer, they pulled it out. They actually dug out around it and pulled it out. It had been exposed layers that were deep in the earth that had been done, and they were walking around with this thing. They carbon dated the layer that was wrapped around the hammer as being 1/2 billion with a B years old. The hammer had a 96% iron content, and it was made up of materials that could not have naturally occurred, and it was all still intact. That means that hammer was 1,400 million years old.
Your point?
My point is that life has continued on this planet for many, 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 many different layers of civilization.
Right.
And so there are thousands of these OOPARTS all over the place. And they actually demonstrate the fact that everything that we have been taught about our origins has been a lie. All of it. So, wait a minute. So there's one thing I know I'm on a roll here, but you got to hear this. Okay. So now I am quoting Graham Pick, who wrote this article, right? Everything we've been taught about origins. And then I'll let you comment on this. It says, it seems that everywhere we look, this is Graham Pick in his article, and I quote him, it seems that everywhere we look, we find things that contradict much of scientific orthodoxy of today. The scientific establishment will never acknowledge or admit that these artifacts are authentic. To do so would be to admit that they are completely wrong about our origins, and consequently invalidate all of the textbooks used to indoctrinate us and our children. The discovery of OOPARTS completely annihilates the theory of evolution if, as this hypothesis would have us believe, modern humans only evolved 200,000 years ago or thereabouts. One has to ask how man-made artifacts found in substrata that originates millions of years ago could be explained. All right, one other comment. Alternatively, the advocates of creationism have a very quaint way of acknowledging the existence of OOPARTS and bizarrely actually believe that OOPARTS substantiate their worldview. So, but they completely disregard the established dating methods that led to the fact that they understood what was going on. And now that part of it is mine. But he goes on to talk about this. He says the creationists would have us all believe that coal seams, rock strata, fossils, minerals, precious stones, and every other antediluvian element took only a few thousand years to form. Bottom line.
Well, that's hooey because, yeah.
All right, bottom line. You have two arguments going on that have been propagated by individuals that are ignoring the truth. And this is happening all over the place, including what is in front of us during these GOP connections. So
ignorance is bliss,
That it is. So now you have Democratic, you have Republican, but the whole game is fixed just like these OOPARTS. They're ignoring the fact that reality is there.
I never believed in the theory of evolution. That is the caveman thing that we came from the monkey and all that junk.
But this also
I
tells
never believe that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Come on, give me a break.
And this also tells us, though, in a very succinct kind of way, that both of the sides of this thing are wrong. So we're not getting the truth, and we haven't been getting the truth, and you're not.
Well, the truth is inside you. You can't get it outside yourself. It's inside.
There you go.
Duh. I'm not saying when I'm talking about gays like that, I'm not putting anybody down. I have gay friends that I love. I always tell them the truth. They love me because I tell them the truth.
Okay.
But it's not the soul. It's not the soul. It's the deed. The deed is what you want to look at. Close your eyes. Connect with your heart. Look to the highest point of a star that you can see in the universe and just profoundly question, what are the choices I'm making in life? Where could I do better? What would make me feel like I'm laying my head down at night and I'm making all the right choices so I can graduate from this planet? Just Still small voice time. Go into your heart. Everyone has a heart. I don't care if you're gay or standing on your head or whatever I don't care what kind of personality you are. Go into your heart. Ask yourself, ask your higher self, what is right? What is right and wrong here? And we got here because we're talking about a gay person handling the military. Okay. Strength is what you want to think about in military, not mental savviness, physical strength, physical.
Yes. Perfect one. Krishna and Arjuna, Gene. Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna had a heart. Arjuna did not want to fight his fellow man. It's in the Upanishads. Okay. It's a basic premise
Hindu,
of
isn't that Hindu? Is that Hindu?
Hinduism.
Yeah.
And as a martial artist, it's always a challenge. People would say, well, what is his divine plan? So Krishna, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, Krishna told Arjuna that his life was for him to be a warrior, that he needed to show the warrior spirit, that he needed to go out there and be a military man, that he needed to go out there and actually kill his fellow man as part of the divine plan for bringing what they needed to.
There's no such thing as death,
Exactly. So what Krishna is saying is look, and Arjuna's wrestling with this. He didn't know what to do, didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. Krishna came back and said, I will drive your chariot into battle. So there was the Krishna or Christ figure driving Arjuna's chariot to help him fulfill his divine plan so that he would be doing that. And so now Arjuna has to show forth that male, militaristic, warrior, in the physical, in your face kind of energy, which is a requirement of what he needed to do on his path. There you are. So who do you want to lead your nation? Do you want somebody who could have possibly have been George Patton, or do you want somebody who's possibly closer to a Bruce Jenner? You tell me what you would rather have facing on the firing line.
Now, who the heck are you referring to being closer to a Bruce Jenner?
It's George Patton. Our prior shows, Gene, where we looked at this and we said, it's possible. Yes, it's possible that Donald Trump could be George S. Patton Jr. reincarnated.
Absolutely, but no, I was asking you the other side.
Oh, what was the other side? The other side of what coin?
I want a man in office.
Oh, I'm talking about
a woman. I want someone that's strong and has a heart,
right.
And that is my requirement.
Yep, and I'm
Trump's
talking...
got it. Trump's got it.
Yeah, I was referring to the guy that he was going to put in to lead the military as being gay. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. However, it would be much nicer if you had a soul that was comfortable with the role that they needed to play in their own body instead of having to deal with that as an issue.
Because I want it's a psychological problem.
Exactly. I want somebody focused on the military and what they need to do. I don't care if it's
Here's the bottom line with all of that. It takes a man and a woman to create. Two men cannot create and two women cannot create life. So, that's a Mother Nature thing.
Oh.
So it goes against the whole universe and the way things are done.
Gene, I hope we got enough information out there so that everybody kind of caught that this isn't just a homophobic kind of thing coming out.
No, not at all.
Exactly.
Like I said, I actually have very many dear friends who are gay. I'm just speaking from metaphysical, religious realigning, spiritual, what is the word I want? Theosophical,
yeah.
Penetrating the layers of the consciousness. There's 33, okay, let's bottom line. Yeah. 33 levels of consciousness below the physical and 33 above.
Right.
The
with
gay
some overlap.
Habit patterns are somewhere around the 17th level. 17th level.
Down?
Below the physical plane.
All right,
yeah, down.
All right.
Which adds up to an 8. The further down you go, the darker it gets.
All right,
the higher up you go, the more Mother Teresa you become.
Gene, you just threw out a tidbit there. Okay, you said it at 17. It adds up to an 8. What's the deal with the 8?
The 8 is sexual intimacy. Intimacy issues.
Okay.
So if you've been molested as a little teeny tiny baby, things like that happen. And you grow up because the first 7 years of your life you're absorbing, this is my mom and dad are God, so everything that they teach me, and if they're letting people fondle you. Obviously, you're getting the wrong message. So you get confused in your psychology and you don't even know where it came from. So you accuse it of being, oh, well, I'm just, I'm just female when I should be male, or I'm just male when I should be female.
Yeah, I wish our psychologists, I wish everybody that
understood.
That's in
karma,
the mental health
reincarnation.
field. Exactly. Yeah. And then they can deal. They could deal with these challenges that everybody is facing. Instead, it's like, oh, I don't know.
Well, probably anybody that's already been programmed is going to hang up on this radio show by now. But I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. We love you. It's okay. I was there too. I didn't understand until, it was presented in the correct way and I was open to the truth. But you have to start somewhere. You got to at least be willing to want to know the truth.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Just look. I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other.
And you are who you're surrounded by. You talk about the hypnotic spell of the universities and socialism.
Yep.
Why all these kids are going for Bernie. It's because, this is what's being taught to them in the school system, socialism. Live on the government. Let them pay your school bill. Let them pay for everything.
Which is the point.
And
Lose
your creativity and not learn how to take care of yourself and survive in some sort of, bad situation. Always let someone else take care of you. What if that someone else isn't there? What if the government isn't there to take care of you one day? Are you going to be able to survive? Bernie,
the other part of this too that I think is scary. A lot of it can be fear for some folks, because that means that they would have to relook at everything that they ever decided was their basis and their foundation. I mean, that's why it's difficult, because it's easier to repeat something you heard in a pulpit from your pastor or your minister or whatever that has been passed down, because they are What was that? The unicorn's trying to break in. What was
oh
that?
My God.
What was that all about?
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Oh my God. Okay. Never mind.
Never mind. Are you okay, Gene?
I'm okay.
All right, okay.
I'm being attacked by the mic. The mic is after me. Oh my God.
Oh my God. So that was the point that I was trying to get across with the story, the OOPARTS as well, is that the theory of evolution and the theory of everything that has been discussed is out the door. It's not real. And what you're hearing is you're hearing the best guess and the fear of others that don't want the truth to be made known, because apparently these OOPARTS are all over the museums. They're stuffed away in the Vatican. I know that for a fact. They're stuffed away in the... some
of the astrology books and things that are down in the Vatican that they don't release to the public because it has profound truth in them.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'd love to get my hand. I'd love to walk through the Vatican library sometime.
They
won't let me in that part.
We are committed to bring this forth. So again, we say, I wouldn't have read this stuff. The secrets, the stuff that's not being revealed, it's all here for you. You just, take a look and
this show's been so heavy. It's like it doesn't want to be talked about. It doesn't want to be handled. People don't want to, oh, come on, let's just not get stuck on this. Life is already hard enough. Let's not think too deeply here.
But the truth will set you free.
I know. And, the bottom line is go back to the simple things in life. Just say a little prayer to that still small heart inside of you. Go into the secret chamber of your heart and just ask your God, dear God, what is truth?
Hey,
what is pure? What is innocent? What is good?
Mine started when I was in a phone booth at 4:00 in the morning.
About Superman?
Yeah, that's when phone booths were still around, Gene. And I remember it was raining that night. And I got in there and I had some, personal difficult situations that were going on. And I remember turning.
You had to be in a phone booth at 4 a.m.
Absolutely. And I remember looking up the sky, the rain's pouring down, bouncing all over this phone booth. And I remember saying, God, if you show me the truth, I swear I won't do this again. And that was the beginning of it. It was one call.
All you have to do is ask for truth, and it'll be revealed to you.
Exactly.
But if you don't ask, you'll never know, and you'll stay under that hypnotic spell of existence. And then you get to re-embody over and over again. You don't even have a clue, like Einstein says. only 10% of your brain is being used. Conlon Rose believed only 6% of your brain is being used, and the rest of it is the records of where you've been.
Okay.
And so you automatically react to stimuli outside of yourself based on where you've been. When somebody makes you mad and you don't even know who they are, you have an emotional reaction to them and there's no reason or rhyme for it, you just push the button into the past life.
Now,
follow that.
Yeah, exactly. So all you Matrix fans out there, do you want the red pill or do you want the blue pill?
The blue pill.
So who wants to be the Nero out there, and who doesn't want to know what's happening? To be perfectly honest with you, I'd rather know what was going on.
You've heard it here on the Trek Upward radio show. And we are going to continue bringing you this truth no matter how painful it is to talk about. And I don't like saying negative things. I really don't. I just want to be happy and just enjoy the sunshine. But, there's some truth here, and I don't want to lose this planet. I love this planet, and we are on a downward spiral, and we've got to stop right in our tracks right now and turn it around, or we're in trouble.
So you have
and
to...
the trek...
So go ahead.
Yeah, so listen to these painful things and evaluate it for yourself and ask your God, however you perceive your God. I don't care what you think your God is, just ask. Yes,
and don't be afraid to ask the truth for the truth. Do not be afraid.
Then ask for the discerning of spirits,
right,
so that you know who is the real truth. And we're going to wrap up this show now. We've been talking for some heavy stuff for quite a while here, and I'm like feeling kind of like,
Gene,
Arthur, should I have said all of this? Oh my God, this is heavy.
Oh well, this is good stuff. I'm telling you, for me, when I first started asking, it was finding out about aliens and their spacecrafts, and that set me free.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do a show on that. I'm dreading it. I really am dreading it.
We're gonna have to face all of it. But what we want to do is make sure, seriously, that you have every tool that you possibly need to help you, so that you get to where you need to be.
Archangel Michael is all you need. He will protect you. He will save you. Just ask him. He's powerful. He's more powerful than a locomotive.
And he's able
to leave. Oh, and the violet flame. If you want to clean up your act, call for the violet flame. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God design's highest frequency of light on the physical plane ever.
And we have ways to help you out. prophecyisgiven.com. Check it out. We'll
write us, ask us questions, be on our show. If you've got some information that's pretty secret, we want to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, Arthur, where's William?
He's out saddling the horse.
Can you go get him?
Yeah, I hear him coming right now, as a matter of fact. Yes, here he comes.
I was hoping I'd be able to hear him too, but apparently not. So, anyway, see you next show.
Oh, you can hear him. Here he is. He's right there.
AstrologyGeneHart.com, 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 the Trek Upward Radio Show.com, the Trek Upward Radio Show.com, the Trek Upward Radio Show.com.
See you, everybody. Bye. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching for the Trek Upward Radio Show so you won't miss any episodes. Or visit us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/TrekUpward and be sure to click like on our page. Or visit our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com. The Trek Upward Radio Show is a studio at 5600feet.com production.